While your samples are heating is a great time to go ahead and get your notebook called up. Go ahead and write down all reagents, all items used, the prep that you've done. If you've already written everything down in your notebook, then I would move on to buffer prep. The buffer vials are going to go on the system, and there's two ways of prepping these. The first way is you label each vial and you add each vial individually, and as you go up to the system, you then lay it out the way that the diagram tells you to. Or you could go ahead and lay out the diagram, the samples, as they would be loaded on the instrument in the trays. This is the method I'm going to show you today. The first thing you want to do is you want to label one vial, one rack, inlet left, and the other one outlet right. This way when you get to the instrument, you won't get confused. I would also double check once you do get to the instrument and you're setting it up. And the best way to double check is to see where your waste vials are. You'll clearly see a difference in level for the liquid to know that the waste vials go on one side versus the other. That'll be specified in your method. So the way that you do this with this method is you go ahead and lay out where your waters are going to be. For instance, we have a water here, and you count down 6, and you have a water here. Those two waters, so if you're only running 2 samples, so therefore you're only going to need 1 row. If you're running more samples, you're going to need to add multiple rows. This is the left inlet side. Then we would have the right outlet side. I would suggest that you don't get confused. Go ahead and just put the waters in that you're going to use, and then later add the water dips, or the waste. Use a 5 mil pipette, a reverse pipette. You want to angle to the side and let everything just go down naturally. You always discharge the solution that's in the pipette before you eject the tip. This prevents anything from jumping back into the pipette. Now we would do the waste vials. The waste vials, you only want to have 800 microliters. This is because if you put too much in a waste vial, as it's transferring, as the waste is filling up, it'll get too full, and then that waste will end up contaminating the system. This is very important that you only put 800 into the waste vials. Same procedure as before, just reverse pipette, angle from the side. Go ahead and cap the ones you've already filled. This will prevent any kind of contamination. Next, I always go ahead and do the NaOH and the HCl. Those both require 1500. Again, I'm going to reverse pipette. To make it simple, and that way you won't get confused, just do one at a time. As you get a new kit, this is the acid. So as you get a new kit, the acid and base will have a cap on the inside of this. Remove the seal and throw it away. Do not put the seal back on, because both seals look the exact same for the acid and the base, and it's very easy to accidentally get those mixed up. Reverse pipette directly out. And again, discharge your solution before you eject your tip. Now we're going to use the base. Same procedure as before. Reverse pipette. The last thing you add is the gel. Again, do not shake the gel, do not jiggle it around. We don't want to have any bubbles inside of the SDS molecular weight buffer, gel buffer. You only want to use 1,200 of this. Again, you're going to reverse pipette. The one thing to take note of is whenever you use the gel, you go directly into the center and you do not wipe the tip when you remove it. Take it straight out, angle it, and reverse pipette in. If you wipe the tip, that'll leave gel on the edges, and that gel can harden and get mixed into the gel, causing your system to mess up later on down the road. Again, dispense the waste, then eject the tip. So repeat, never wipe the tip. Now that the buffers are prepared, we need to cut a capillary. When transporting your samples from the lab to the CE lab, you need to use a container. This is a container to not only keep all your stuff safe, but also it keeps any kind of smell if you're using BME inside. I recommend when using these containers, you add tape along the edges because that'll make the lid stay more firm. When using tape, please use a different color than orange. Just a preference of mine, this way I can find mine. Put the lid on, close it, now you're ready to go.